Well, for more reaction to this story, we're joined by South African Union of Students Secretary General Nhlonipho Nxumalo and the SACP spokesperson, Mr. Mbulelo Mandlana. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. A good evening to you. Nhlonipho, I'm going to let you go first, representing the South African Union of Students. The news hits us late this afternoon. The president has essentially sacked Higher Education Minister Nobuhle Nkabane. What is the position of the Union of Students?
Good evening and good evening to your viewers. Thank you for having me. We note the developments that have happened in the sector, and we do welcome the new appointment of Mr. Buti Manalema into the sector, as we do know that he is a well-experienced deputy who was serving as a deputy minister. So we do understand that he's well-experienced, and we do believe that he is going to serve the interests of students, as he was always available in terms of serving students as from when he was the deputy minister. You would remember that Buti Manalema, as far as we've known him, he was always available, especially with regarding to ensuring that the TVET sector is taken care of, because normally the TVET sector is usually treated as a stepchild of the department. So we do welcome the developments of Buti Manalema being appointed as the Minister of the Higher Education sector.
Okay, we'll get into your view, particularly on Nkabane later, but let me bring in Mr. Mandlana, your reaction to the news. Buti Manalema is in and Nobuhle Nkabane is out.
As the Communist Party, we believe that this is a good move by the president to make a reshuffle in this manner in the Department of Higher Education, because we think that the department has been faced with a lot of public criticism, a lot of which has been largely valid, given the extent of challenges that we have seen in the sector. And we really, at the same time, appreciate and commend the decision that has been taken to appoint Comrade Manalema as the Minister of Higher Education. Obviously, just like my colleague has just said, Comrade Manalema has been in the portfolio of higher education for a long time. He has accumulated a lot of experience in that time. He has interacted with a variety of stakeholders that are involved in higher education. He has a history of being a student leader in the higher education sector. So in really his whole life as an activist, as a leader, appears as though he has been prepared for this particular position. As the Communist Party, we find this appointment an excellent choice.
Yeah, Nhlonipho, just your views on the outgoing minister, Nobuhle Nkabane. What is she leaving the department in the higher education sector with?
Firstly, I would like to say that we're just elected literally just a week ago. So I'm not in a position to give a performance review of the minister. However, we can say that she did commit a few blunders. Some she corrected, some obviously led us to where we are now. But we can confidently say that she did commit blunders, and some she corrected. For example, when she appointed the NSFAS board, there was no student representation. But she listened when we called for student representation. She listened, and she managed to co-opt the student leaders into the board. So we can say that she has created blunders, and some she has fixed, but some obviously blunders have led us to where we are right now. However, like I said, I cannot give a performance review at this point in time because we're just elected. However, we can say that we wish the minister well, the former minister well, in her future, endeavors.
Yeah, but the SETA's debacle that she was essentially put in the spotlight because of, with the appointment of a panel that would then set up the chairs of various SETA boards, I mean, was publicly seen and watched by everyone. That particular scene that infuriated many South Africans when she failed to, account to the portfolio committee of higher education, simply unable to answer some of the questions that were posed to her by the portfolio chair. I mean, central to really the moment that we're seeing here. So perhaps, Mbulelo, you want to share your thoughts on this, what she leaves the department with?
Well, we will not like to go deeply into that because the blunders that were made at the time that is closer to her exit were for everyone in public to see. The crisis in the SETAs is really the most prominent of the problems that were there in the department, and clearly a lot of those challenges were mishandled. Other than that, of course, the sector continues to face a lot of challenges, and a lot of gains that were made previously appear to have been watered down a little. And I think that the fact that this decision has been taken at this time, it gives us an opportunity to start on a new path, to put things in place, and to ensure that we continue with the agenda that the South African government has in relation to higher education, which is to uplift the poor institution, to create access, to ensure transformation, and so on and so forth, being the larger goals. But and we think that these must be looked at rather than focusing really on the previous critique of the previous minister.
Yeah, but it's hard to overlook it, Mbulelo, when you, and I'm going to stay with you for this, because you say, you know, let's look at where we're going moving forward, and not so much as looking back. But at the same time, you do also have the announcement today that the now Deputy Minister of Higher Education is Nxumalo, the former KZN Premier. And let's not forget, again with this SETA's matter, that has essentially gotten Nkabane into hot water, was her being part of the list to those SETA board positions. And now she is Deputy Minister of Higher Learning. Does that not speak of perhaps some lingering issues there that you see?
Well, as far as you are concerned, we don't think that we find this to be a crisis, because as we know, she has not been brought to answer on these matters. These have been general suspicions, and she has not been in the executive position to make the kind of determinations that can either qualify her or disqualify her relative to this particular post. In this regard, we leave it to the executive to oversee that and ensure that what is correct must be done. But as things stand, we are not in a position, and we are not volunteering a position of criticism as yet in relation to her. And that matter can be determined as time goes on.
Yeah. Nhlonipho, same question. You're not concerned about the appointment of Deputy Minister now, Nxumalo?
No, I think I share the same sentiments with the previous speaker. Say that obviously she has not assumed office. We cannot, but what I do know is that she has served in the KZN legislature, and relatively, I think I can say relatively well. Obviously, I'm not a resident in KZN, but from, you know, the media, from what I get, I think she has served relatively well. So we can give her a chance and see how we work with her, and we'll also support her and hope that she will support us in terms of ensuring that the poor and the working class students are ensured access in institutions of higher learning, and they are guaranteed that they are going to conquer the university space.
Okay. Just lastly, I think before I let you guys go, Mbulelo, the call to action that you have now for Minister Buti Manamela.
Call to action from the Communist Party is that we believe that Buti has been prepared for this particular position in the same way he has been prepared for the entirety of his leadership actions. And we are calling really on the rest of society to work with the minister, not to think that the minister is a sole actor whose actions have no consequences or relations with other people who are stakeholders, and that those stakeholders and we ourselves as a political party will play our role as we historically have, to criticize where criticism is required and to make support where support is required.
All right. Mbulelo Mandlana there, SACP spokesperson, and Nhlonipho Nxumalo, Secretary General of the South African Union of Students, giving their reaction to the news this evening of the President sacking and now outgoing Higher Education Minister Nobuhle Nkabane. We're taking your calls on this as well. You also have the platform to give us your reactions. Give us a call on 010-594-60 or send us a WhatsApp on 072 110 5584. Let's hear from Zulu in Balfour. Good evening to you.
Good evening, how are you?
I'm well, sir. Thank you for calling. Talk to us. What's your reaction?
I think the president has finally man up. I think she took the correct decision. I think this will be a learning curve for quite a number of arrogant ministers, especially ANC ministers, who normally just take people for granted, and they have no respect of the offices they hold. I think going forward, he should be consistent in the decision that he takes. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Manzie Zulu calling in there from Balfour. We'll take more calls as we take a short break, though. We are back in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back. You're still watching Newsfeed PM, the late edition with myself, Nhlonipho. We continue to get your reactions to the news late this evening, or this afternoon rather, hitting us that the president has essentially sacked the Higher Education Minister, Nobuhle Nkabane, then putting in her position the previous Deputy Minister of Higher Education, Buti in that position of Minister. Now, Deputy Minister of that department, replacing Buti is former KZN Premier, Nomusa Dube Ngube. We're taking your calls on 01059461010. Vincent is in Seshiro. Vincent, good evening. Thanks for calling.
Evening to you and to your viewers.
Thank you for calling. Go ahead.
Yes. Firstly, we have to congratulate Buti Manamela. It's been long overdue. He has been acting as a DM for a long time. He knows the department in and out. And also the DM, the new DM, also want to welcome her to the department. She's very active, looking at the work in from KwaZulu-Natal. The disappointing part is from the president. The president knew a long time this action he took today. He was supposed to take a very long time. The president is living in South Africa. He knows what is happening in South Africa. We are not going to clap hands today because he fired the minister today. He knew from the first time that the minister is telling the parliament lies. We're not going to clap hands. And we're saying to the president, some of this incident, we're watching. South Africans are watching. You are showing us these issues on TV. For the minister to stay up until today, it was wrong for the president to work under pressure. He was supposed to show leadership and fire the ex-minister Nkabane.
Nkabane, okay. All right.
Nkabane, sorry, yes.
Yeah. Vincent, your views are appreciated. Thank you so much for calling. Andre is in Cape Town. Andre, good evening.
Oh, yes, good evening.
Yes, thank you for calling, Andre. Talk to us.
Thank you so much. I'm just saying, what Cyril Ramaphosa does is way too late. He does exactly what his twin brother, Jacob Zuma, does. They're hiding every single thing of the ANC corruption, and I'm not affiliated to any party. But honestly, any person with a brain would see that he has got no managing skills whatsoever. It's so long ago. It's just unbelievable that people sit up with this nonsense. But thank you for taking my call.
Andre, thank you so much. Andre, they're saying that the president's action way too late. Let's take a look at a few WhatsApps from our viewers this evening as we look at the reaction. Luvuyo Do says, good evening. It's time for President to clean this cabinet. Corruption is a big enemy to our democracy and people of South Africa, especially the poor of the poorest. Okay? Luvuyo, thanks for that. Let's see if there's more coming up on that screen. But you can send yours to us as well, 072-110-5584. Of course, we continue to bring you reaction to the news of the president firing the higher education minister, Nobuhle Nkabane. You'd remember that this, of course, stems from much of it around the matter of the panel appointed by her to set up the SETA boards, particularly chairs of the boards, and the issue of course, bringing about quite a bit of contestation with the sense that some of the people that were found on that list of those going on to those boards were politically connected, not forgetting that there is the report that one of those individuals is the former KZN Premier, who today we hear is now Deputy Minister of Higher Education. Anonymous says, a good move by the president. As a leader, you listen to the nation and comply accordingly, not to political stance. Okay, Anonymous, confidence there in the president. Thank you so much for sending in that message. All right.